Welcome to the Elegance Of Nae podcast. I'm your host, Nae, and on this podcast, we talk about a variety of topics with amazing stories. Let's get into it, shall we? Welcome back to the Elegance Of Nae podcast. I'm your host, Nae, and we have a new person in the building. We have the one and only Josiah Hunter. How are you today?
I'm great, Nate. Thanks for having me today.
No problem. Yeah. How are you?
Pretty good.
That's good. How's your day been going?
I would say awesome. You know, just not gonna lie, but had a little downs and up with the job and stuff, but I'm doing better that left.
It usually is like that when you have a rough day. You just like, I just want to go home, chill, have a good day. Yeah, I feel that. How's this year been going so far for you? It's the new year, new things. You have anything coming soon or in store?
As of now, I just moved into my own apartment, so that's been like an adventure. A lot of friends been coming over, business team coming over, and been having fun lately. So that's been my new adventure off this year.
That's great. Congrats.
Yeah, suppose I went to North Carolina to do like I think it was pickleball. I was going to be playing that.
Sweet.
But
that's
I kind of switched it up and did going towards moving into my apartment.
I feel that. That's a good start. Even though either one sounds like very interesting, like for the other one too. That's cool. That's what made you want to do that particular
sport.
Yeah.
It's something more different than what I'm used that I can play, like basketball, football, track, and all those things.
Yeah.
So it's more of a not only teamwork, but it's a lot of I would say it's very competitive than baseball as well. So it's close to racquetball. I don't know if you tennis. It's like that. So
yeah, I've seen pickleball.
Okay.
I was just wondering what made you want to, or what was leading you towards that.
Honestly, the guy I had met on Delta when I went to North Carolina in the past, he had told me that he played, and I was like, okay, how do you do it? And then he was like, oh, you never? I was like, no. I was like, I think I've seen videos, but I didn't really care for it.
Yeah.
Then he showed me. I was like, oh, okay, interesting. I was like, you know what? I'm down to play. He was like, okay, I invite you over to my home. He's been retired for 72 years.
Oh, wow.
And he didn't even look 72. And I'm looking at him like,
that's crazy.
He's like, listen. He was like, my dad used to own franchises and stuff like that. And he's like, I kind of got in business. Things went bad for me in business, but he's like, I learned how to get back on my feet.
Yeah.
Business took off for me. And he's like, hey, I get to travel and stuff. And also my sons, they all went, they didn't go down the path I did. He was like, but I did give them a chance to be part of business. They didn't choose it, but hey. So it was good meeting them. And so that was he gave me an invitation to come and play.
Oh, that's awesome. That's really cool. Nice conversations on the flight.
Yeah.
That's good. So let's kind of start from the beginning for you. Like where are you from?
So I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay. Born and raised?
Yes. A lot of people think that I'm from Ghana, Africa. I don't mind that because I was like, once I get the passport, I will be there. Anywho, so.
Is that your family history from there?
Honestly, I would say no, because dad and mom's side, my dad's side, they are from Atlanta, Georgia, Alabama, and then my mom, on my mom's side, they're from Louisiana. But I don't know past that.
Yeah. Well, at least you're in the States. Y'all were in the States, so that's cool. It's different. How was it for you growing up in Detroit?
I would say it was like a lot of challenges, but because my home was more military, both parents, we was protected, but we still seen things, and I still had to go through
a lot of things
living in the hood. I literally our family home is Puritan, Wyoming, down the street from Mumford High School. So
I can get that. I get that.
We had Puritan gang.
So it was a lot.
Yeah.
Transpiring. Yeah, for
I learned
sure.
a lot.
So, how were you as a kid growing up? Were you very like a social butterfly? Were you more to yourself? Like, how were you when you were younger?
Trouble. I was in trouble a lot. My mother's a witness, father's a witness, but he was mostly away, so that's why I just like went towards getting in trouble.
Mm,
Um, I literally almost got put out of school. Well, I got inside school suspension, so that was like
almost there, pretty much as
yeah,
a
so like
yeah.
first grade through eighth. It was just a trouble middle school, you know.
Mm. So, how was your transition to high school? Like, how were you then? Were you still into the troubles, or were you more so getting more into the social aspect, or more to yourself? Like, how were you then?
So by eighth grade, um, since we was in church as well,
Mm-hmm.
that's where I received the Holy Ghost, or some people call it Holy Spirit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got I would say I was saved, but I wasn't
Good.
delivered.
I feel that. I feel that.
You know.
Okay.
So like ninth grade it was still fighting, and then
Mm.
coming out of my shell, because I was like selling a lot of candy bars
Mm-hmm.
at church, and I would sell like pizza kits at school and stuff. So I
You
was
was just
coming out
hustling and get some
exactly,
bucks out of there.
you know.
I feel it.
Um, come from a big family of seven, so money wise, it wasn't available,
Mm.
but we was fed,
Right.
right? Clothes hand me down from my brother, or
Hey.
go to the resale shop, get some nice
Mm-hmm.
items, which I still myself go
Mm-hmm.
time to time. But um, yeah, that's how high
How it
school was.
was.
And to answer your question, because I was going somewhere else, but answer your question, um, coming into high school, I still was like being prescribed for Ritalin.
Mm.
So the therapist, and I have nothing against white people, but he was a white therapist, and he was telling my mom that I needed Ritalin,
Mm.
and he was taking it himself. And days that he would take it, he'd come in there with his hair down, and you know he
Mm.
looked depressed and he
Mm.
looked out of it. And
That
I
stuff is strong.
correct.
Very strong.
And I prayed to God. I was like, please don't let. Even though I was being bad, but I was like, please don't let my mother do this, make the decision. Listen to this man.
Yeah.
My father is not present at this moment.
Yeah.
Please don't let this woman, because
Yeah.
if she does, I'm gonna be
It's gonna
slow
be a lot.
retarded. You know.
Yeah.
So she didn't. Thank God. And my dad, he switched his job at that point, and
Mm.
he was able to be
Around
more,
more.
yeah, more
Mm.
around, because he's a truck. He's been a truck driver for 13 years, so he
Mm.
was a lot. He was
Mm-hmm.
over the road a lot of the
Traveling,
time. So
everything. Yeah. I feel like with that, it's very serious when you are going to a therapist, especially when they document like what's going on, and you also gotta be careful of who you go to too,
mm-hmm.
because you don't know what they be on to, as you just
Correct.
said. And also, yeah, when you take that particular medication, it's like it takes out your emotion. You don't feel human anymore. It's like you're a walking zombie.
Sure.
So that's why I be rooting for people that just try to get their lives back together or feel somewhat normal, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's something. But how is it for you growing up with so many siblings? Or
Uh,
where do you stand on the sibling scale?
like, you mean like
Like, are you the eldest, the middle, the youngest?
I'm the middle,
Oh, okay.
which they say I'm not the middle, but I'm the fifth, so it's four sisters.
Mm.
Then I have an older brother. Then it's me. Then I got two younger siblings.
Yeah,
So
you kind of somewhat in the middle.
yeah, somewhat there. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, so yeah. You technically the youngest middle, I would say.
correct.
Technically, yeah. I feel that. Mm. Yeah, I'm like the. It's different because on my mom's side, I'm the baby
Okay.
out of me and my sister, and then on my dad's side, I'm the second oldest. So
Oh,
I'm the youngest on one side, then I'm the second oldest on the other
y'all like a
side.
blended family?
No,
No.
no, it's just that's my dad,
Never
this my
mind.
mama.
Never mind. I got it.
So,
Got it.
so for my dad, it's like I have my oldest brother, then it's me, and I have my two younger brothers, and then I have my two baby sisters.
Uh,
And then if you're including my stepmom's children as well, where it's 11 of us in total, like 10, 11 of us in
wow.
total. yeah. So including them, I would be the third oldest. But with just to strictly my dad's side, it's just me as the second oldest. So
how did that go growing up, 11 siblings?
well, I didn't gain my bonus siblings until I was like probably it was in my high school years, but
Hmm.
like my senior to like junior to senior year. So I didn't really grow up with them,
Okay.
but growing up with my siblings, far as on my dad's side, it was cool. We was able to, every time we went to my dad's house, we played the game, we enjoyed ourselves,
Mm.
had good quality sibling time, and because we used to stay on the west side, so we stayed over like near Cooley area, so it was like like kind of pretty much down the street from DSLA for those that know where DSLA is.
Okay.
And it was just real cool. Growing up like back in the day, you ride bikes down the street at block parties. So it was a nice experience and I always enjoyed it. That's one of my fondest memories that I loved as far as growing up with siblings and stuff too. But as far as my additional siblings, it was more so like, okay, cool. I'm still getting to know them, get to know their creations or talents, things of that nature. So it was just more so getting to know who they are to be able to gain that bondage. But we are great now. We're growing up with each other, been around for years now. So the years
And
go by
your
quick.
parents together as well,
My
too?
parents?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No, my mom is my mom and my dad. But no, my dad is still married to my stepmom. So
Gotcha.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, it's safe for me to say this today because I had got permission from my mother. Today she finalized her divorce
Mm,
with my father. But what I've learned, because my dad as well, he had two other children before he met my mom.
mm.
So it was total of actually, I would say nine. I just never met
Them.
I only met the my half sister,
Mm,
but I never met my brother. But
mm.
I heard a lot of stories, and I can relate on like them not
Not married.
understanding,
Mm.
being together and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can feel you on that because you grew up with both your parents.
Correct.
So for me, I grew up with both my parents, but they were just separate. They weren't together. They
Okay.
were just they just took care of me. I stayed with my mom,
Mm.
but they took care of me both, and I always had a great relationship with both of them. Well, yeah, I had a great relationship with both of them, and that's why I was able to build, my relationships. My dad was very strong on making sure he kept me and my siblings together
Mm-hmm.
through our childhood, and that was the best thing that I felt like he did was keep us all together when we were with him and spent time with him, and just had that good bonding experience with him and everything. So that's kind of where that aligns. But yeah, it's been interesting being the eldest on that side, but then
Yeah.
the youngest on one side.
School wise too, like did you guys go to the same school or no?
It was more so. Mm, it was only one incident where, like, when not stay, but when me and my dad and my siblings were on the west side, that's when we kind of went to school together a little
Mm-hmm.
bit. It was me and my oldest brother, and then my baby brother. We all went to school for briefly, like probably a few years, and then that was probably it. And then we drifted to our own different schools.
Oh,
But when we were in school together, it was cool because if we needed to defend each other, we'll come and help each other out, uh or if we leave early, we can go and get each other from out of class. So it was a nice little experience to have growing up. Because at first I was like, dang, we ain't gonna never have that school time with each other. So yeah, it was pretty cool. How
yeah.
about you though? With your
Um,
siblings?
I only like my two younger siblings. We only been in school with
Mm-hmm.
each other, but my older siblings, I kind of missed that. I really wanted to because
Mm-hmm.
I really wanted to see how they are.
Mm-hmm.
Only heard my older brother, get into trouble. That
Mm-hmm.
was it. They never, well, they shared the good things afterwards, but um, I wish you would share good things, because
Yeah.
that'll help me focus on good things because that's
Mm-hmm.
my example in the home. So, but um, yeah, I didn't get a chance to really see them.
Mm-hmm.
I was only able to come to like their parent teachers conference and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. Where you guys were all living together, right?
true,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. So I was who are you more closest to, I would say, as far as siblings?
Mm, As of now, I would say my second oldest sister.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what's up. So how was your transition from high school going into you went to college, right?
Correct.
What college did you go to?
I went to Henry Ford, and that was for 3 years.
Okay.
I kind of like once I got to my third year, I had a scholarship with DTE Energy,
Mm-hmm.
and it supposed to mentors trades and stuff. But I was like, I'm not driven no more there because the high school I went to Mumford only 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
But before I got to Mumford, I went to Randolph Tech, and that's like right next door to Renaissance.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned trade, so I got my certification in heating and cooling. We
Nice.
did plumbing,
HVAC and stuff.
correct, and learned a little bit of carpentry.
Mm-hmm.
My first mentor he taught me carpentry and stuff like that. But by the time I got to college, I was like, I want to go into business administration.
That was a random twist. That was a whole twist.
Yeah.
But what
So,
influenced that thought though? What brung or inspired you to do that?
um, my first mentor, Deacon Delbert Waller. Uh, gotta say the same for the record because that guy awesome. Um, he not only helped me like
Mm-hmm.
um, I would say be a better gentleman,
Mm-hmm.
but I would say he influenced me to be more um, direct because when I got to high school, I dealt with a lot of people, and I understand that we teenagers and stuff, but
Yeah.
I dealt with a lot of people in situations where they were like being dishonest. And I'm like,
Mm.
all you have to do is tell me the truth. They're like, why
Yeah.
is this guy so honest? I'm like, I mean, just been around people, and, I got a military home, so I'm like,
It's like that.
let's just be straight to the point. Stop playing
Yeah.
games. So I would say he really gave me the formula of how to be a man.
Mm-hmm.
And once I went to his home and see how he treated his wife, treated his children, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, this is something I want. His
Yeah.
wife was real estate. He had real estate. He did a little bit of real estate himself.
Mm-hmm.
He was a certified electrician.
Mm.
So with the
So good
homes,
funding all around, just
exactly.
about. Yeah.
So like the homes we've been to, now he a big guy. Like so when tenants act up, we pull up we pull up over there.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, cut the grass, Joe. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, I told you last week. Get my money. I'm like, hey, this guy is a pimp, but no, he's not. But I seen how he demanded and went after his business and
Yeah, it was about business.
exactly about his
Yeah.
business and stuff like that. So it was like, I want to do business. Um, he taught me carpentry, so we did a roof
Mm-hmm.
for one of his tenants' homes, and I got to once we got done with that roof, I
Mm-hmm.
talked with the tenant, and he gave me a citizen watch,
Mm-hmm.
and those watches go for a lot of money and they really nice. He was like, "Keep it. This is yours." Even though
Yeah.
he passed away, I still have that watch, and I make sure I clean
Um,
it up and stuff like that.
yeah.
So, earn my way. That
Mm.
was something that he taught me: is earn your way.
Yeah.
Don't steal. Don't be out here committing crime.
Yeah. Do the right
Earn your
thing.
way.
Do your
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
So that's kind of like by the time I got to college, I was like, you know what? I'm learning about solar energy, all this. You know what? I want to go into tech.
Mm.
And not only tech, I just have a mentoring program connected to that. And
Mm.
um, yeah, that, that's where I had a drive towards business administration though.
That's good. So that's pretty much the transition from high school into college was
Mm-hmm.
really good and smooth for you.
Correct.
That's good. That's good. So how was it in college? Did you have your like really high moments or did you have stressful moments? Like how was it for you with being in college?
Mm, that's where I became a lot more social because I was a
Kind of
introvert.
introvert.
Yeah, I
Okay.
was like very to myself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so college, it was like I was opened
Like a
up.
switch.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. I think college was just like I enjoyed it very much because my friends and I we just tried to do like a lot of great things around the college and talk to people
That's
and
good.
just meeting new folks. So I think college was fun for me. So that's where I just learned how to deal with people, learn people, basically. So
That's good. So when you did you ever go to a different college after Henry
no.
Ford? You just fully graduated from Henry Ford.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So where are you at now with once you've left Henry Ford, like how did you go about your business? Like how did you go about creating your platform?
Mm-hmm. So when I first started college, I had created my profile on LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
So that was right after 2018 when I graduated from high school. 2019, 2020, I created my LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Um, a gentleman had inboxed me and he had shared with me about developing basically an e-commerce platform.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm in college, so I'm like, I'm looking at my studies, and at that time, like, this is cool of understanding how to um, be better because my degree was in electrical engineering.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, it's cool learning about these different solar power and power plants and stuff, and what keeps
Mm-hmm.
our basically the lights
Electricity
on,
on.
this,
Yeah.
all those things. It was cool learning that, but it wasn't like I was like, I can see myself doing it for 30 to 20 years.
Mm.
And
Did
job wise, I was like, nah, because I was exposed to it by
mm.
Deacon Waller, and so I'm like, this guy literally every day he just go to a home,
Mm-hmm.
he'll call a client, hey, I come by, fix up, fix your little
Light fixtures and
yeah,
stuff. Mm-hmm.
if you got electrical problems, let me troubleshoot it or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
This guy was like skilled, so I'm like, I like his lifestyle.
Yeah.
He can clean the gutters on a Tuesday. Like, guy, you can go work out on a Thursday.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, nah, I can't do a job because I won't be able to
But it
work
also take
out.
time to get there though.
True. And I wasn't thinking about that.
Mm.
But I was like, I want the lifestyle he got. He's paying me and stuff. So I'm like, yeah, this money is gonna help me.
Get to your thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it wasn't, I didn't have the keys to build my business at the time, but I
Mm-hmm.
had the formula.
Yeah.
And all I had to do was actually apply the formula
Mm-hmm.
and build a business what I have now. But going back to college, I met, he's my mentor now, but he had inboxed me. He was sharing with me about building a online network asset,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, sounds interesting. I was like, but I want to see my business physically. I want to
Yeah.
open the door. I want to go to my office and sit
Right.
down somewhere. And he was like, that's absolutely fine. It's possible. He was like, but where's the income going to come from?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, I could just, I got a couple of grants and stuff. He was like, do you have to pay that back? I was like, yeah. He's like, well, where else would you go and get,
The funding.
like, yeah, the funding, loans and stuff? I was like, go to the bank. He's like, break those numbers down of how would that work of a period of time of paying the loan, business back. I mean, the business loan back to the bank.
Yeah.
Tell me how long that would take. I was like, dang, that'd be close to 10 or 5 years. He was like, well, how much money would you be able to have within the 5 to 10 years if you invested in building a asset first? I was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'd be able to pocket all that money,
Yeah.
within 10 or 15 years that I have to pay it back, or 20
Mm.
years I have to pay it back. And he was like, okay. So he's like, in order to have your traditional business to run,
Mm-hmm.
you would need so many finances. You would need a team. You would need so many things that's going out
Yeah.
before you see a return on
Yep.
your investment. And I was like, correct. You have a point. You have a point. What do you have then? Show me what you got. And then, he showed me, and basically helping people get access to high quality products.
Mm.
And he was like, all you have to do is provide it to a network that you might have, or people that you might know
Mm-hmm.
that would want to purchase these high quality products. He was like, but guess what? That's 5% of the business. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. Products is the fun part of where everyone's happy. But he's like, if you don't know um, part where what is called business of creating passive income,
Mm-hmm.
then he's like having products doesn't mean nothing.
Yep.
Because you could be just running your mouth, but you have no backup to
Yeah.
show people like this is how much money I have
Yeah.
and this is how much I invested. And
Right.
you don't have the substance there,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And I was like, you know what? That makes sense. How do I do this? He's like, okay. He's like, let's just schedule a couple meetings, and
Mm-hmm.
then from that point on, I see if it makes sense to be business partners,
Mm-hmm.
and seeing how we do um, a like we broke it. He broke it down to the point where I was like, I can explain this to my 8-year-old niece.
Mm.
That's how simple he broke it down of how the business worked.
Yeah.
Uh, Building an online platform is like it's not your inventory, so you don't have to have an inventory there.
Mm-hmm.
Inventory is provided basically. Also, you don't have to maintain paying for a website every month, how a traditional business or people that just have a business online would pay.
Mm.
I was like, okay, what else? This sounds good. We're going somewhere.
Right.
And then he got to, well, Joe, let me ask you this. He's like, if you didn't have to worry about money, didn't have to worry about
Continue. Continue.
bills or anything, what would you be doing?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, shoot, that's a good question. I'll probably be um, traveling. He's like, that's
Yeah.
a answer that everyone says. What is
Yeah.
something that you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, you know what? Something I would want to do probably be playing, a lot of bowling, spending my
Enjoying
days
yourself,
exactly
living your life.
hunting and
Yeah.
you know um, running around in deserts and stuff. So, sounds like something wild. I've been
Mm.
trying to do that.
But abroad stuff,
Exactly.
abroad things. Yeah.
And he's like, see, so he's like, the having passive income is more to you than money at that
Mm.
point. Correct. He's like, I like your character. At that point, this is good character.
Right.
He's like, people can build a skill set. You can always build a skill
Yeah.
set. But if you don't have character to go along with the skill set, um, you just like a rich brat, or you're a rich problem at that
Mm.
point. Um, so I was like, okay, let's do it. So from that point on, it's been about 5 years,
Mm-hmm.
and in the next 2 years, I'll be looking towards retirement, stuff like that. So this has been going pretty well.
That's good. So, how are you when it comes to the networking standpoint,
What you mean, like?
like far as within your company? Because you said you guys work with each other, business to business mindset. So, how is that going? Far as either helping one another out or helping like branch out more of your business or what you do? How is that going?
So, based off of the people I share, and talk about the example of Amazon,
Mm-hmm.
what have you purchased from Amazon last month?
Mm-hmm.
If it makes sense, then people move forward with either being a business partner or being a customer or a client at that point.
Right.
So, um, through the process that we have, and I think that for every business, it should have this of laying out, okay, this is what we do,
Mm-hmm.
this is how we develop our money, this is um, what you would take home after taxes and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, building a partnership there
Yeah.
and building trust. Because if there's no trust within the partnership, then that's the downfall of every business, to be honest.
Yeah.
So that's how we go about networking, is like seeing who is looking to
Who can
develop
help with
a
what?
exactly,
Mm-hmm.
and what is like your motive of creating passive income. Um, it it wouldn't be beneficial to any relationship if someone is just out for a hand up and not
Mm-hmm. Not
trying
actually
to
trying to
lock
help.
arms with you and
Yeah.
you guys grow together.
Like they're just trying to take the connections,
Exactly.
but not actually trying to flow with you.
Exactly. And a lot of major businesses that we've seen fail
Mm-hmm.
within 10, 20 years already, it was basically because there was no trust.
Yeah.
Somebody had either one good deal here and then they didn't want to share it,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it was a disagreement.
Somewhere in the
Exactly.
lines of it. Yeah.
And like Napoleon Hill, it's some other books out there,
Mm-hmm.
Robert Kiyosaki, um, what they share on is that having that mastermind, Benjamin Franklin, and it's some stuff connected to him, but the good
But
part
it's
of him,
still,
yeah,
yeah,
the
but
good part of things, um, is having a mastermind,
yeah.
people around you that um, not only more like sharper than you,
Mm-hmm.
but looking to develop similar. So you have like similar goals in mind,
Yeah,
basically.
similar
So
connections.
that's how we go. That's how I go about networking is connecting with people that
Have the
have a
same.
similar mindset and goal as
Yeah.
me. So
That's good. That's good. Hey guys, we wanted to take a quick little break just to do a quick shout out to TC's Art Gallery. That is T as in Tom, C as in Cat, S as in Sam Art Gallery. They do custom art, custom jewelry, and custom photos. They also help with your logo, updating your website, or if you need a website, and they help with social media advertisement or social media management. If you don't feel like dealing with your social media at all, contact TC's Art Gallery today. That is T as in Tom, C as in Cat, S as in Sam Art Gallery. And also check out their website at tcsartgalleryllc.square.site. All right, back to the show. Now let's take a little dive into let's say let's see here, because you in the beginning I had you choose a number between 1 through 5, I mean
yes.
1 through 10, excuse me, and
Mm-hmm.
you chose 5, and you got, what is something you have to do every day? Like, what is your go-to like to-do list that you have to do on a day-to-day?
Every day,
Mm-hmm.
um, I spend at least 1 to 2 hours um, dedicated to business hours. Basically, that'd be my business hours. I definitely turn my phone on mute, and I have to do that every day
Mm-hmm.
because it not only sharpens my mind, but in order to retire within the next 2 years, I have to be really intense on my next decisions,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, and literally, my niece, I want to spend more time with her too.
Mm-hmm.
So when she comes over, she had asked me about business
Mm-hmm.
because I kind of like first gave that. I shared a little bit with her when I used to live with um, at my family home.
Mm-hmm.
If I moved out, I used to share with her a little bit about my business, a little bit about passive income. And
How old
I
is
think,
she?
huh?
How old is she?
She's 8.
Okay.
So, and like I said, my mentor told me, he's like, if you cannot break down this business to an 8-year-old,
So you literally broke it down to her. You're like, she's a perfect example. The perfect one here. Let me give it a
well, he actually said a
try.
5-year-old, but I was like,
I
kind of
got an
exaggerate
80-year
the
old.
eight. Look,
Yeah. So
um,
that's funny.
yeah. So I broke down passive income to her
Mm-hmm.
using the example of a penny bank. I was like, Cassidy, if you miss a day of putting a penny in your piggy bank,
Mm-hmm.
you don't get a penny back, but you continue to put in there, a penny every
Mm-hmm.
day. How much money would you have by the end of this week? Let's say it was like you put in 8 pennies.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you miss a day of not putting in there, what is that? She was like, "Oh, Saya, it's just like work."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Good, good, good, good." I was like, "Now your penny bank gives you back $8, and then you have, I think I said 18 in there." I was
Mm-hmm.
like, "But it gives you back 8. What is that?" She's like, "Oh, that's like that was the money I put in, and I saved it, and then it generated more money. I was like, she
Mhm.
didn't say generated, but that's just me like keeping it short here.
Mhm.
And she was able to understand through using the example of a penny bank.
Mhm.
She was like, okay, so that's passive income. I was like, yeah, yeah. I was like, look it up on Google too. I might have
That's
messed up.
funny, but that's a good way to put
But
it, though, especially
yeah,
to for her to be able to recite what you're saying based off of her understanding.
yeah. I think I was off of my numbers, but it was like 10. If it's like 10 or put in 10,
Mhm.
get 8, that's 18.
Yeah.
Basically, it keeps increasing as you put more money in, and then on its own,
Mhm.
it generates money. That's passive income. But if you have to continue to put in there, that's a job, active income. So that's something that I was sharing with her, but kind
Mhm.
of said it in a different way. But yeah,
That's good. You gave her like two ways of understanding.
correct.
That's good. So tell me a little bit more about your business and how you came up, like what tell me the name and like more of what your business is about.
Right. So my mentoring program outside of building um, my commerce platform
Mhm.
business, we just came up with a name for that. My
Okay.
business partner, she sent it to me. It's Health and Wellness.
Okay.
That's the name of it. But I'm still like, it
You on
sounds
edge.
too hospital for me. Like you're going straight to the hospital. No, I want you to understand that
I get it.
that's wealth, not
Mhm.
the hospital. That's why I was thinking of it, but I'm still working on that one. We're working on that.
Right.
But for my mentoring program, I came up with the name of New Millennial Leaders,
Mm.
and the reason for it is I based it off of scripture.
Mm.
So First Timothy, I believe it was chapter 4, verse 12,
Mm.
and it talks about what a young man should be,
Mm.
and he should be temperate. He should be a good husband. Should
Mhm.
also listen to the older men
Mhm.
and basically watch his actions. Be a
Mhm.
better example to the people around him.
Right.
So the scripture it says it not the way I say it, but the King James Version says it a different way.
Mhm.
But that's what I based it off of
Mhm.
like my motto is to be a better man, right? And
Okay.
teach other young men how to
Be that man.
yeah, focus on themselves.
Mhm.
And because I see where it's like everyone is attacking one another
Yeah.
instead of looking in the mirror. Before you go and attack a sister or brother, look at yourself first. Am
Yeah.
I'm the problem, right? And that's something I tell to mentees from
Mhm.
8 to 18. So I definitely focus on that business. Like I would say 20 minutes out of the day, but the rest is more on my e-commerce business. Basically.
Okay. So it's kind of like, for example, because I have a youth mentor program,
Mm-hmm.
called Grind and Hustle Youth, and we actually have a course coming up this year called Raising Gents,
Okay.
along with our Elegant Ladies, and we're just helping the youth ages because our age group is from 15 and older,
Okay.
but we're starting those courses and being so serious about it because we notice how the new generations aren't really understanding how to be gentlemen or how to be elegant ladies. And we just want to help a little bit on making sure they know how to carry themselves, make sure they present themselves right, and
Mm-hmm.
really just get their mindset back on track a little bit of how what's the real right way to be. We're not kind of like, pulling them away from their authenticity, but it's still like we just help them a little bit on like how to make sure to get a job out here, how to really present yourself a particular way, how to build yourself through that. So I kind of understand where you're coming from with that too. Now, so let's elaborate more on your ecom business.
So that's the health and wellness, right?
Oh, okay.
And we do like a lot of. I've been doing since last year. We did about I would say eight to nine health expos back to back,
Mm-hmm.
church to church.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter denomination. We did Kojic, non-denomination. I'm focusing on apostolic church. It don't matter to
Mm-hmm.
me, but we do health expos back to back, and basically talk about plant-based items, products. So our sources is Nutrilite, and then for when it comes down to like healthy makeup.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about artistry, which
Okay.
is a top brand. I do well with artistry because no, let me stop. I just remember a story. I was in the airport,
Mm-hmm.
and I was coming back to Detroit from Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a lady there. She had like I forget what type of lipstick she had on, but it had like glitter on it,
Oh,
and it
yeah.
looked really nice. So I had complimented her. I was like hoping not to get in trouble because I understand, that can come off,
A particular way.
yes. So
Mm-hmm.
I shared. I was like, oh, that look, it looked very good. I was like, makes your lips look very awesome. And she was like, oh, thank you. She's like, thank you so much. I was like, yeah, no worries. I was like, let me ask you. I have to ask you before I leave here. Um, who makes that? Just
Curious.
just for research purposes.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a fiance, but forgive me, God, for lying. I was like, phone fiance, help her out.
just so you're not sounding weird of
Yeah,
asking her that.
you know.
Yeah.
She told me, and she showed me the ingredients, and it was so
Stuff
many
in there.
chemicals in there. I was like, well, let me show you a few lipsticks that my company has, right?
Mm-hmm.
I believe this would definitely help your lips and not irritate them, and you won't have like you won't have
Like chapped lips and stuff.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
crusty lips afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
She was okay, so I showed her, sent her a
Mm-hmm.
link. She became a customer that day, and
Thanks.
she didn't purchase, but she made her account. It was cool. I reached back out to her,
Mm-hmm.
didn't reply, but it's cool. I guess it was like the compliment was something else there,
Mm.
but
But at least you spread the word.
exactly.
Yeah.
But with the health expos, we was able to generate money that way of hooking them up with the artistry products and stuff like that.
That's cool. So what made you dive into that particular area? Like compared to where you left off in college up until your company now, like what led you what was how was that transition, or how did you get your business started in that particular field?
Um,
Because it sounds a little
health,
different.
correct.
So
Health industry. Looking at Neutralite and artistry, XX Nation 2. Forgot about that. XX Nation 2. Um, they have where they protect their own farms. So there is no airplanes flying over it.
Yeah.
And so their products is not contaminated, or there's no fake, preservatives, anything, no
All
artificial, all
natural.
that. Yeah, it's all natural, plant-based items. So that's what kind of like gave me I would say, confidence to like sell it, because a lot of people they are like focused on their outer appearance
Outer appearance
a
and the
lot,
inner.
right?
I mean, that is the first thing you see.
Correct.
So,
but if your heart is like disgusting, it's
that is a way to put it, but it's still like the first thing that we do see is our outer selves.
The second thing is character, because then it's like
That's
your
true.
looks, you turn ugly when your
That
attitude
is so
ugly.
true. That is very true.
So it's like
if you're not, yeah, you got a point there, guys. You got a point there. Yeah, that's true.
I said this at this last health expo before coming to New Year. I was like, some of us at church, they was looking at me crazy, but because they was bracing.
Yeah.
I was like, some of us at church, the reason why you have bad attitudes when you're walking around here is because you're constipated.
Oh my gosh.
And here is Neutralite.
Oh my goodness.
That loosen it up for you. You don't have to go to CVS, Rite Aid, none of that, because
that is very funny. But wow.
What they have for you,
you said come to church. I can clear that.
you know.
That situation you got going on right there.
And everyone laughed, but they was like, "You got a point," because how can you walk around and you know you're like either dying or you know your body's unhealthy, but yet you put on a outward
Appearance, but it's
appearance
not
of like you
there.
just all no, be honest with yourself
Yeah.
and go get help.
Be genuine.
Stop lying to people. And that's what I seen in helping my family first before I even helped anybody else. When once I gave them Neutralite, they saw the difference between the supplements that they were taking, and they was like, "Wow, this makes me actually feel good."
Yeah.
The other ones, they just because I'm like, I showed them like a comparison. I was like, Neutralite supplements, they dissolve in the water like they're supposed to. The ones you get from
The
your
store.
regular pharmacy, they're still sitting in your gut. It's like a block of white still sitting in your gut.
It's
So I'm
crazy.
like, which one? You want to actually be healthy and
Right,
have
in flow or
the effects within the next 2 hours, or do you want to, I don't know, constipated
be
or
stuck. Yeah.
somewhere,
Be
messed up?
bloated.
Yeah.
Mess. Yeah.
So
I feel that.
yeah, it seemed like a big benefit, and so I focus a lot on our Black community because there's a lot of examples I've seen that have made it big, but we don't even recognize them. And one of the guys that I love, he's a big time nutrition doctor. His name is Dr. Bobby Price. Guy, his website is alone is like I have you in tears of like I need to do better. Like his detox plans, I need to do
Yeah.
like I watch a lot of his content as well, and that's like one of my biggest examples when it comes down to health.
Yeah.
Because I think, and the reason why I was in this space now to answer your question, is because I see for our community, a lot of people focus on, they look at entertainment, sports, but health is like, okay, I'm good. I'm a
We'll
mess
come
up
back
these
to it
lemon
later.
pepper
Yeah.
wings and get this Cody Island or this high blood pressure meal. I'm gonna I'm gonna mess that up, and I'm gonna watch my game and argue about something that I can't change at all. Bet, lose money and stuff like. We focus more on stuff that's either going to get old and there's new players. Health, it stays the same because the hospital bills increase. All these in our Black community, the hospital bills are like high.
Yeah.
It's like you're paying. That's our new bank loans basically.
And that's where a lot of people in general just don't go to the doctor due to the hospital
Correct.
bills or the affordability of the hospital bills. Even if you do have insurance, you still gotta pay some stuff. Depending on your insurance, you may have that good insurance. You ain't gotta pay nothing. But for some people, that's usually the biggest issue, and that's why a lot of people do not go to the doctor. And that was kind of like a friend of mine recently that passed. You know, he just refused to not go to the doctor, and um, it was just too soon for him. But at the same time, it's like that opened my eyes and a lot of family members' eyes. Like you gotta take care of yourself.
Sure.
You gotta be careful of what you consume, what you're around. It's not just him; it's just really in general of really who you're around, who's influencing you on certain things, what certain meals you have, and just how you carry yourself with that too. So it goes a long way. I feel like what you're doing is really dope too. So, especially um, with how you're carrying it and how you're trying to build it. So, what's the goal with this year's like overall like results? How do you want to be towards the end of the year with your business?
When it
Or
comes down
where? I
to
mean,
no, that's a good question. I
yeah.
appreciate it. When it comes down to our health expos, I want to aim for like at least 20 by the end of the year. So about close to like 5 a month, I believe. I'm doing it right, but at least 20. That's the goal. We did 8, so it's a big number, 20 right now, but I think it's possible based off of the churches that I either spoke at or
Mm-hmm.
played the drums at. Um, I think it's possible. So that's one of the goals, and then also as well have a bigger business team,
Yeah.
so that they can impact their families.
Now, are you mainly with churches?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what made you choose particularly churches?
Um, since I spoke at a lot of the churches that I've been to,
Mm-hmm.
there's no benefit of renting a space and putting an event, like, getting vendors and stuff like that. There's no
Mm-hmm.
benefit there because you're losing money. I'm in the business of smart risk.
Mm-hmm.
So having it in a church, it's either, this is free advice, but it's either free,
Mm-hmm.
or they know me, and so because of who I am,
You'll get
and
a
they
nice
know
little
who I was,
connection.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sure, just do it. Or it's like a low pay there.
Mm. Okay. So, in other words, it's affordable.
Correct.
Yeah. So how has it been for you on your personal level of trying to grow within yourself? And then have you ever had a moment where you separate your business self versus your personal self, or do you feel like you're the same both ways?
Um, I had to learn how to be a human because I thought,
That's true. That's a true statement, though,
yeah, I
especially as an
really did.
entrepreneur,
Yeah, I really
for sure.
did. 21, 2, 3, 4. No, not 24. 3 years of like self development was needed
Mm,
because I wouldn't say I was a horrible person. It was just like I was just like,
trying to figure out who you are.
yeah, I wasn't taking things serious like I
Mm,
supposed to, and it was costing me a lot of money
mm-hmm,
and relationships. And so I was like, you know what? It's time to do better. It's
mm-hmm.
really it's time. It's time. And so that's where I learned how to like separate who I am personally
Yeah.
and then who I am when it comes down to business, basically.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like I was I was kind of taught the hard way of like how to separate your emotions from the business side, because trying to have your emotions along with doing deals with clients or doing different opportunities with people, having that emotion a part of that kind of steers you into the wrong way,
Correct.
because now you're tied to it. And if you lose this client, now you're just like, oh man, I can't do this, I can't do that. But in reality, so all business is not good business. All
Mm-hmm.
clients aren't good clients. You're gonna have your ups and down moments. You're gonna have moments where you're not gonna agree every time dealing with certain people. So, if things align, things happen.
Right.
So I think that, that goes a long way, depending on where your field is too, because every field is different. That's for sure. I did notice that. Like, well, I've been noticed that,
Yeah.
but yeah, every field is different to me. So, but yeah, I agree with that.
Did you ever have a point where it was like so much you just needed to like find
Take a
a
break.
de-stress, like some way to like get
Yeah.
stress off?
For me, I make sure that I have a particular day off
Okay.
every week.
Good.
That's my way to like de-stress. Or for me now, my new outlet is going to my church on the weekends, so I mostly just be there, and it's a lot of fun. As far as setup and everything, serving and just being that, in that happy environment, be around good energy. But for me, it's also before being at my church, it was mostly just having that day to myself where I'm just like, no work today. I don't even let my friends talk to me about work. Like
Wow.
I was serious about it. I'm
Yeah.
like, hey, it's my day off. Do not talk to me about work.
Sure.
Don't mention work. This is a free day. We're gonna have fun. Going to a movies, going out, something, just to keep my mind off of it. And even so, even when I do work, Monday through Friday, or however I do, because I can work whenever. But I also make sure to take time out periodically to take a break mentally and physically, because you never know, like that mental stability of trying to do consistency of
Mm-hmm.
working can drain instantly. You can drain more, you can be stuck at a screen, or you can be stuck in that mindset or mode to where it gets toxic. So that's why I try not to, steer myself in that direction. I try to
Right.
steer away from it and just make sure I work real hard, but get stuff done too. Now, did you have any more questions before we get ready to close? Because I don't mind them.
When you had stated about personal, um, I mentioned a little bit about like how it's ruining like relationships and stuff. Like, was that the case? Like, or was yours different person when it came down like personally, how you developed yourself outside of your business?
Well,
and don't think about what I just said about struggling. Forget that part.
Okay.
Just the separation there.
For the personal side of me, I always tell people if you met me when I was on a personal level, then you'll get more out of me or more of me compared to if I met you on a business level. Gotcha. Because I feel like if you met me on a business level, I'm on business mindset. I'm not thinking about personal because I don't mix business with pleasure. Right. And so for me, if I met you on a business aspect, I'm seeing you as strictly as business. And then it takes you it's going to be harder for you to get like wiggle over to the personal side of me. Because I don't tell everybody my business. So for me, I'm able to separate that. And how it was easy for me to separate that is because I grew up with entrepreneurs surrounding me. So I grew up with family members that had their own businesses to be able to do what they need to do with their content, with their, what they do for their companies and things of nature. So that's how I was able to flow with that. And it's been good ever since I started to really focus and be able to really separate the two. Even though some people are like, you shouldn't have to separate the two, you should be the same on both ends. But to me, it depends, because it also depends on your field. Like if you have a very serious field, like say if you're, let's say a social worker, you may be a bubbly person on the outside, but when you go to work, you got to be stern. You got to be direct. You have to, cut off certain emotions, certain ties. Or a lawyer, you may be a good person on the outside, but you got to be the bad guy sometimes. So it's different fields, that you have to flip the switch and be a particular way or be a particular person. So I feel like it just depends. But far as me, yeah, that's kind of how I deal with that. Yeah. So you also did in the beginning, we had you pull from the jar, and you pulled consistency. So how important is consistency for you?
Very important, because that's how like partnerships that I have developed over the 5 years, we was able to stay in business because of their consistency and mine's as well. Because I think it's, for me, because when you say consistency, it's connected to commitment as well. And when you continue to show up and you show people that you're there and
you're
that
serious.
you're serious and stuff, it goes back to like trust.
Yeah.
From consistency, you develop that trust there with people, and it honestly it worked well with relationships too. And so.
Okay. All right. Well, would you like to shout out anything before we close, like far as either your website or how they can follow you on social media?
So a lot of my interactions are direct, so you can definitely reach out to me on Instagram, learn more about business. We talk more about health and wellness as well. Well, project health and wellness. I'm gonna get in trouble. Project health and wellness. We can talk more about what I do as well, because I don't really have a website. Mine's more direct when it comes down to e-commerce. That's how I do my business. But mentoring, that's all on my Instagram. So it's _ Josiah, JOSIAH _hunter_. And then Facebook is first and last name as well, Josiah Hunter.
Okay. And all that information, guys, will be down below in the description. Make sure to keep in touch with Mr. Hunter over here. Check him out, ask him questions if you want, or leave questions down below in our comment section. In the meantime, it was so happy to have you here. Glad you could make it, and glad we had the conversation.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Until next time. See ya. It's a wrap. It was great seeing you. We're so happy you joined us for this episode. Can't wait to see you next time. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. And check out our information down below in the description. See you until next time. Bye.